video all about what to do with an article. Now that we found one we want to look at, what do we do with that? What kind of steps should we take? So I am first going to go in here and clean out some of these because I haven't quite picked yet. So I want to exclude dissertations and theses just because that's not exactly what I want you looking at right now. And it'll give us the opportunity to look at some other items. So notice that it has not beside several things. That's one of our Boolean operations. So remember this one was about reading in Arabic and cultural differences. That one is about Indonesia. So I'm still looking for something in the United States. I'm going to click on this one and see what it is about. It says it's in a journal. It says it's exploring the literacy experiences of pre-service early childhood education, childhood teachers, social and contextual influences and implications for teacher education. So how are we teaching teachers to teach? See if you can say that a bunch of times fast. So what I want to do, I've decided I like it. Okay, so first off, I need to get a copy. I like a PDF. So we're going to look at that PDF and we are going to download it. So first things first, I've now downloaded it. Ooh, it also has some more ideas that it's given me, which is amazing. Oh goodness, look at all these great suggestions. All of these things are designed to help us, which is really, really wonderful. But right now, I don't want to do that. So the other thing I want to do before I leave this page is I want to go here to Cite. So it's usually on the right or at the bottom. And those are the areas we look at. So I want the newest MLA, which here is 8th edition. And I'm going to make a copy of this. I'm going to copy and paste it so it's ready. I can copy that way as well. So mine download to a specific place. I'm going to open it here. So what I like to do, because there are two areas that I want to have. One, I hope we have an annotated bibliography going. There's a video on that. And I'm going to copy and paste my works cited item in there. But I'm also going to go in here. I use the preview function on Apple. And I'm going to paste my reference in here as well. So it looks like it's going to be super ginormous. But the reason I like to put these, the reference in here, one, it's not going to show me everything I need. It's not going to save it's not going to do italics and things like that. And it may be hard to find a spot for it. So I'm actually going to see if I can bring it over here maybe. Trying to find a spot. It's got too much going on. Okay, perfect. So I like to have something here just so that that's it. Like that's, I'm going to go ahead and mark it so that we know how important this is. But that way I have something to work off of. But over here, where I copied and pasted it, I have what needs to be in italics. And that can be a really, really big help. Also, this has a lot of stuff on it that I may or may not use. So that is also something to consider. The reason I mention that is because when it gives you something like this article from ProQuest, this link, you cannot use that again necessarily. So what happens? The DOI is super useful to have, but not the other items. So something to think about there. But the regular link that it is giving me here is from behind a paywall. So remember how I have to log on to our library website? That means that I would have to log on to access that. And so if you give that link to me and I don't have that website, or if I don't have access to San Juan College, I can't use that link. And so even my own self, I have to log in and then try to use the link, and it becomes really complicated. So I cleared that out a little bit, but now it's in my article and it's ready to go. Oops, and it gave me a way to open that. Okay, so the other thing that I like to do once I get started, I like to look at my abstract, because that's all of the article in a really short space. So notice that they have 8 different ideas they want to look at. They're going to give us a quick overview of what they found. And then they said, here, analysis of both quantitative and qualitative data revealed 8 key findings. So when we're looking at academic and scholarly research. We are not looking for cliffhangers. They are showing us as quickly as they can what they have found and what it means. So that's what's here in the abstract. But I should also find a good indicator of all of that right there in my introduction. The other thing I want you to do, if you like an article, if you like what you're reading, scroll to the bottom of that article. The same thing we would do with Wikipedia. We're going to scroll down and see what they found. So here we have 61 resources. Some of these could be repeated. It looks like they're done as footnotes. So if I quote multiple times from the same one, I may have to list it a few times. But it looks like we have about 60 something resources. So if you like what they're looking at, if you want to learn more about something based on what they share, then you can go down to these things and use those to find the article. So remember that point about talking to librarians? It's not always the easiest thing to find the exact article. So by having this information, I don't necessarily need to know everywhere to find it. I can copy and paste this for a librarian and get support in finding it. But I love to look at those kinds of things. So here they have their questions and their research. The other thing I like to do when I'm reading, there are lots of ways to do this, but you can add text the way we did here. Or I also love to underline. So I'll often grab, I typically choose purple, and then I underline key items. So for instance, this is pretty important that it's going to give us these 8 criteria. And then I may be like, oh, but I think everyone should read this whole paragraph. So I may do something like this and be like, these are the key items. And then I may write some notes to myself. But I like to do things like that to help me find what I need. So I'm going to save that, and there we go.